always kept it straight. This is not for y'all. This is not for the money. This is for me. While y'all thinking that I'm just doing it for the money, I believe that I can win.
Terence Crawford has officially addressed Errol Spence's request for a rematch following their 2023 undisputed bout. Now, one of boxing's biggest stars, Crawford, is in the spotlight, and Spence seems eager to capitalize on that by pushing for a second fight, this time at the super middleweight level.
Gave up a lot of stuff, but my main objective was to make the fight happen by any means. Even though my people wanted to, after a while, they wanted to walk away from the fight because out of just all that outrageous demands, and then when you meet his demands and he moves the goalposts. Yeah, he's nice as hell, but I'm at the point of my career. The money right, I'll fight anybody, so
What's surprising is that Crawford isn't dismissing the idea. In an interview yesterday, the current undisputed super middleweight champ responded positively to Spence's challenge. He said he's open to the rematch, stating, "If Spence can move up to 168, I'm all for it. I've still got a few fights left in me."
Like I said before, that's my obligation in the contract, and I gotta honor that. If that's the next move for me in my career.
But that burning desire not to lose, where does that come from? That competitive spirit?
Man, it's just something in all the greats. If you look at all the greats in any sport, they always was hungry to be the best. They wanted to prove that they was the best. They wanted to show the world and show everybody that they were.
Errol Spence Jr. is eyeing a bout at super middleweight largely because of his extended time away from the ring, during which he's put on significant size. He believes he's now physically ready and strong enough to face Terence Crawford at 168 pounds. Spence made it clear, "Crawford is who I want next at 168. That's the fight I'm aiming for. Our contract is still in effect."
Without him, really wanting to fight and putting forth the effort into doing what he can do along with me to get this fight done, we wouldn't be fighting. So it's only right that I give him that same,
This potential rematch makes perfect sense now, especially since Terence Crawford is the reigning undisputed super middleweight champion following his victory over Canelo Alvarez on September 13th. That win has quickly become the highlight of his career, even surpassing his earlier triumph over Errol Spence Jr. 2 years ago, giving Spence all the more reason to chase a second showdown.
He said the Jose Benavidez fight was probably the toughest fight of his career. And I think you said back in the day you had your way with him in sparring. Is there anything to take away from that, or that you take away from it?
No, not at all. I mean, it was a good fight. We fought a one-legged Jose Benavidez, and it was the toughest fight of his career. That says a lot.
What does it say?
It was a solid performance. Even if some saw it as a one-sided battle, real fighters respect what went down. And that speaks volumes. What's interesting is that after their rematch was called off last year, discussions reportedly resumed months later. Crawford even mentioned in interviews that he was open to running it back with Spence. At one point, a rematch with Spence actually seemed more likely than a fight with Canelo Alvarez until Crawford changed direction. That shift is what likely pushed Spence to publicly call him out on social media. Still, many boxing fans argue the first fight wasn't competitive enough to justify a rematch. In their eyes, Spence is chasing another big payday rather than redemption.
I'm walking over my feet. I want to get out the game. I got kids, got a mom and dad, and they want to enjoy me. So,
Some fans believe Spence is chasing the payday more than the glory. Realistically, why would anyone want to step back into the ring with someone who dominated them so completely in what was supposed to be a 50-50 matchup? Now, with the odds heavily tilted, more like 90-10, it seems unrealistic to expect a different outcome. For Spence, coming off a long layoff, choosing Crawford as his comeback opponent feels more like walking into another brutal defeat than seeking redemption. Fans online didn't hold back either. Many mocked the idea of a rematch, warning that unless Spence is prepared for something even worse than the car accident he once survived, he should seriously reconsider stepping back in the ring with Crawford, even if he had 2 full months of recovery time. Some fans on social media have been ruthless with their comments, saying Spence is walking into another disaster if he steps in the ring with Crawford. One commenter advised him to take a tune-up fight first, suggesting that facing Crawford right now would be more like an experiment than a real comeback. Fighters like Fundora, Thurman, or Tim Tszyu were even named as safer options. Another fan compared Spence's situation to Tim Tszyu's, noting how Tszyu jumped back into a brutal matchup with Sebastian Fundora despite carrying an injury, fought through it for 8 rounds, and ended up suffering his first loss. Instead of resting and regrouping, he took on another high-stakes fight and paid the price. People fear Spence might be making the same mistake, and with someone as dangerous as Crawford, it could be far worse.
I mean, it was exciting, the whole build up to it and leading up to it too. So it's something that I wouldn't change for nothing, and I'm definitely open to the rematch, and hopefully it'll be at 154 pounds.
I can retire right now and be in the Hall of Fame. He couldn't. Like everything that I've accomplished, he's still trying to accomplish.
Do you not think Spence will be in the Hall of Fame?
Right now? No, how?
Yeah, he's right, dude. He's right.
How? He fought in one division.
Never unified the belts.
Others have suggested that Errol Spence might benefit from parting ways with Premier Boxing Champions, PBC, arguing that the promotion no longer offers the same opportunities for top-tier fighters. Some fans pointed out how several of Spence's potential matchups have fallen apart during the negotiation phase, blaming the promotional structure. One comment read, "Leave PBC, man. It's not what it used to be. Go work with someone like Turkey and get the kind of fights you deserve. Just don't go near Crawford. He's a monster and will tear you apart." Another fan criticized Crawford for even entertaining the idea of a rematch with Spence, referencing his fight against Israel Madrimov. Crawford mentioned this rematch around the Madrimov fight. Maybe he shouldn't have given Spence false hope and just moved on.
Did unify?
He unified.
Was it?
He had 3.
Yeah, but he didn't unify all 4. He wasn't undisputed.
Huh?
He wasn't undisputed.
He wasn't. No, but what I'm saying is, they already called him a weight bully, right? He beat Kell Brook coming off of a loss, an eye injury. He beat Sean Porter.
In all fairness, he had to go over there to get that.
Like I said,
I mean, it could happen. I mean, why not? If Crawford want to challenge himself to be great, let him try to be great. So I'm with it. So I'll be going for Bud.
Given the rematch clause in their original contract, Crawford believes there's still some unfinished business with Spence. Since he clearly controlled their first fight, Crawford would likely be the strong favorite going into any potential rematch. The main question now is whether Spence can come back as a different, stronger fighter, especially considering the challenges of making the 154-pound weight limit. That cut seemed to take a toll on both men, but Spence appeared to struggle more, both at the weigh-in and throughout the fight.
That's a good win. Like, I don't want to sound like I'm hating on him or,
I understand
things like that, but
right.
I honestly don't know if he make it to the Hall of Fame with the accolades that.
After Crawford's stoppage victory over Spence in 2023 under a PBC deal, a rematch clause was reportedly included in their contract. However, several months passed without any official plans for the second fight being announced. According to reports from Coppinger, Spence chose to undergo cataract surgery a few months after their bout, which ultimately caused the rematch window to expire. This development freed Crawford from any contractual obligations tied to a specific promoter or network, allowing him to explore other fight opportunities. While Crawford had been interested in facing Canelo Alvarez, Canelo was reportedly hesitant, feeling the matchup didn't offer him significant benefits.
Said I would never want to fight him coming off an accident like that, because when I beat him,
Right.
then y'all gonna say it was because of the accident.
Right.
He fight. He beat Danny Garcia. I was in the crowd. I said, nah, he can't beat me. That's the first time I seen Spence fight live. I said,
so you knew then when you seen that?
I'm like, yeah, because it's different on TV
Yeah, for sure.
than when you watching it up close in person.
Former unified welterweight champion Errol Spence Jr. currently finds himself in a state of uncertainty. Though he hasn't officially retired, there are no clear signs of a comeback either. After nearly 2 years away from the ring, many fans are left wondering if they'll ever see him fight again. Not too long ago, Spence was regarded as one of the sport's elite, an undefeated champion known for his power and broad appeal. Before facing Terence Crawford, their matchup was viewed as a near-even contest, with both fighters considered equally skilled. But once their welterweight title unification bout began, the momentum quickly shifted, and Spence's fortunes took a sharp downturn.
If he fight Canelo, I'll be going for him. I mean, I don't know if he's gonna win or lose, but I definitely be going for Crawford. I think if anybody can pull it off, he can pull it off.
Yeah.
He's chasing greatness, so why not? Canelo came up to 175 and all that, and fought Kovalev and fought the other guy too. So I mean, if he can do it, and he started at 147. So I mean, if he doing it.
Terence Crawford delivered a stunning performance against Errol Spence in their highly anticipated unification fight on Saturday night. By securing this victory, Crawford became the first welterweight champion to hold all major titles in nearly 40 years, solidifying his position as one of the top fighters worldwide, regardless of weight class. He sent Spence to the canvas once in the second round, and twice again in the seventh. The referee, Harvey Dock, finally stepped in to stop the fight at 2:32 in the ninth round. The packed crowd of 1990 at the T-Mobile Arena showed no surprise, and many likely believed the stoppage could have come even earlier.
Fish fry come Saturday. Man, you gotta calm down, brother. Cause listen, man, things can get real sticky real quick, and then everybody would say, this is what we do every time we come out. This is what we do when we come out. Social media.
The long-awaited clash between two undefeated American stars, 5 years in the making, was promoted as the pinnacle of what boxing could offer. While the first round was fairly balanced, the fight soon turned into a showcase for Crawford's exceptional skill. At 35 years old, the Nebraskan delivered a historic display of power, accuracy, and control that made a top-tier opponent seem inexperienced. Crawford, who previously held titles at 135 and 140 pounds and entered the bout as a slight favorite, made history by becoming the first boxer since 1986 to unify all major welterweight belts. That year, Lloyd Honeyghan famously claimed the WBA, WBC, and IBF titles after defeating Donald Curry at Caesars Atlantic City, marking one of British boxing's most memorable upsets.
Got the confidence to come out there and just be like, okay, well, even the skills to say, all right, let me see how you gonna take a punch to the chin. Let me see how you gonna take a punch to the body. Let me see how you're gonna react when you can't bully somebody around.
Good, I just hit the ball.
Okay. So my mind was, you know what I mean, it was racing a little bit. And I was like, man, how should I come out? And it was like, man, just
clearly establishing himself as the superior fighter, Crawford dominated the match in a one-sided manner until it was finally stopped in the ninth round. Following the victory, he held the undisputed welterweight champion title briefly before moving up to the junior middleweight division. Currently, it appears Crawford may take on Canelo Alvarez in an unusual yet highly anticipated super fight. Meanwhile, Spence, the popular Texan, has not stepped back into the ring since his decisive loss to Crawford in 2023. It's been quite some time, and now the bigger question isn't when Spence might return, but whether he will return at all.
Listen, just like you talking, just like you doing all that talking, bro, it can turn deadly real quick, but on both sides. So why not support, listen, why not support your fighter,
Until we meet again, take care and stay safe.